What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big Papa JT, and I'm coming at you with my Notre Dame versus Clemson college football playoff predictions. Before I begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe, upload college football videos and NFL videos. So make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video. And let's get into it. Notre Dame versus Clemson. Notre Dame, they're not one of the best four teams in college football. They're only in the college football playoffs because they deserve to be. I don't want to hear crap in the comment section about how they don't deserve to be in because they didn't play a 13th game, not being in the conference, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that crap. They beat Michigan, they beat Northwestern, and they beat Syracuse, all top 25 teams. If you want to be more critical, they're 5-0 and against the top 25 because Virginia Tech was ranked when they played them and Stanford was ranked when they played them. So they're 5-0. They deserve to be in despite a few close calls to some not so good teams. So they deserve to be in here. Clemson is the second most dominant team in all of college football behind Alabama. They dominate almost everybody they play. Other than that Syracuse game, they absolutely dominated everybody that they have played. And this game is very, very interesting because I want to see how Clemson's defensive line, led by Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Farrell, and this great defensive line. It's nothing bad you can really say about this defensive line. They are the best defensive line in college football, and they might be the best defensive line in college football history. Notre Dame also has a pretty good offensive line, and they're right. Liam Etchberg, Robert Hainsey, Tommy Kramer, and Sam Mustipher, who, in my opinion, is the most underrated center in all of college football. They don't really have high draft stocks as the Clemson defensive line does, but they are third to fifth rounders, in my opinion. Other than the Michigan game, Notre Dame's offensive line has been pretty rock solid. And so, with that being said, let's get into the offenses and defensive comparison, comparing the Clemson offense to the Notre Dame defense. Clemson is fifth in the nation in yards per game on offense, averaging 529.8 yards per game. They average 270.1 passing yards per game, which is 29th in the nation. They average 259.8 rushing yards per game, which is 10th in the country. And they're fifth in the nation in points per game scoring with 45.8. Now, Notre Dame is 21st in the country in yards per game allowed with 331.5. They allow 198 passing yards per game, which is 36th in the country. The 33rd in the country in rushing yards per game allowed with 133.5. And the 9th in the country in points per game allowed with 17.3. Now comparing the Notre Dame offense to the Clemson defense, Notre Dame is 28th in the country in total offensive yards per game with 456.1. The 31st in the country in passing yards per game with 265.6. The 49th in the country in rushing yards per game with 190.5. And the 34th in the country in points per game with 33.8. Now, Clemson, on the other hand, one of the best defenses in all of college football, is fourth in the nation in yards per game allowed with 276. The 18th in the country in passing yards per game, only allowed 183.8. The third in the nation in rushing yards per game allowed with 93. And the third in the nation in points per game allowed with 13.7. Now it's time for my keys to victory. What each team needs to do to have a chance of winning this game. Clemson needs to get pressure on Iron Book, make him feel uncomfortable. Iron Book is a great pocket passer. He's a willing runner. I think he's similar to the Wayne Haskins in terms of play styles. And if you make him uncomfortable, you hit him a few good times, he gets kind of cold a little bit. Similar to what happened to the Wayne Haskins against Penn State. He got really rattled when he got hit a couple of times, and he kind of went a little cold to me. But then he started to pick it back up. That's how I feel about Iron Book. But Iron Book hasn't really been hit a lot. So I think if Clemson is able to make him uncomfortable, which they should be able to a couple of times, because his offensive line is pretty solid. Everybody thinks Clemson's defensive line is going to come in here, come, destroy, and conquer. That shouldn't happen. Like I said earlier, Notre Dame has a pretty good offensive line. And Notre Dame, for them to win, they have to do a lot more than what Clemson needs to do to win. Notre Dame has to be able to win at the line of scrimmage with the guys I mentioned earlier in the video. Those guys are going to have to be able to get real nasty, because whoever wins this game is going to have to be able to win the trenches, and they're going to have to be able to win the line of scrimmage. And also, Notre Dame has to be able to run the ball up the middle, because this Clemson defensive line is too fast to be trying to run on the edge, do some jet sweeps, do reverses. They're too fast for all that. They recognize plays so quick and blow plays like that up so fast. They're too fast to be trying to do all that fancy stuff. So just go old-fashioned and run the ball up their damn throats. That's what Notre Dame has to do if they want to have a chance to win this game. Don't try to get fancy, want to run all these weird reverses like what Boston College did, because they're going to lose this game if they try to do that. This Clemson defensive line is way too fast for that. So they just need to run the ball up the middle. I know they don't have the best group of running backs, but that's what they're going to have to do if they want a chance to win this game. And they also have to be able to utilize play action. A good way to get fast, aggressive defenses like Clemson's, all balanced a little bit, is to hit them with some deception. Hit them with some play action plays, getting them going one way, you going the other. And that's how Notre Dame is going to be able to win this game, or have a chance to at least. So the team I have winning this game, I have Clemson winning this game. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks Notre Dame is going to get steamrolled like 54-10, 45-10. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Clemson wins this game 31-20. Simply, I think Clemson wins this game after halftime and late in the third quarter, like how they have been doing almost every game this season, because I just think that this defensive line is way too fast for this Notre Dame offensive line. And if you go back to the Michigan game, Notre Dame's offensive line struggled with the speed rushers of Michigan. And if you Notre Dame fans, you guys can deny it all you want to, but the film doesn't lie. Michigan's edge rushers and speed rushers destroyed you guys. And even though you guys won that game, the offensive line, that was the worst game they played out of that whole entire season. And I just feel Clemson's defensive line is just going to be able to wear down Notre Dame in the second half just because of their speed. So I have Notre Dame losing this game and Clemson winning 31-20. Notre Dame fans, you guys shouldn't hate me too much, because everybody else thinks you guys are going to get blown out the water and at least lose by 3 touchdowns. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe.